checking in, dude. That's what we're doing. We're just showing up. And wait, hold on. Got it. I got it.
Is this your new rig that you got set up here?
It's the gimbal here. Let's see. Oh, dude, I'm blowing it already. Come on, switch. Why won't it switch? There we go. All right, hold on. I'm on the wrong thing. There it is. I gotta hit the got it. I got it. Boom. I think I'm done. There we are. There we are, my brother. Whoa. Wait, my power cord. Wait, I got there we go. There we go. All right, wait, I gotta get my screen up so I can read the comments from our viewing audience. And there we go, dude. I think we're in like Flynn. Wait, I don't know. Why am I getting that? I don't want that. I got all these. Hold on. Who said it was going to be easy, Jordan? Did anyone say it was going to be easy? My brother. Here we go, dude. I think. Wait. I got reverb. Everything looks straight. What's going on, man? This is let's wait. I need my glasses. Now we're there, dude. Do you need to do anything, dude? Are your feet clean?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good. If I look really stiff, it's because I got a little crick in my neck. But other than that, I'm good.
You got a crick in your neck, dude. Is that where the lizard hides?
Crick. Is it crick?
It's a crick or a creek, dude. It's the crick in the creek, man. I vote full. We got to vote for full lizard, dude. We got Wilburn here first. Spaghetti Cats. Gunler, of course, has got his popcorn. And yeah, you got to go full lizard. Hey, what's up? You didn't beard gel, dude. Oh, you're muted. You're muted. There you are.
Yeah, I didn't beard gel.
No, you got a big. You got a big chunk of your beard missing there. You got a big wedge. Oh, there we go. Look at that, dude.
Yeah.
Look at that. See, dude?
It's all fixable, man. I know. I've been pretty haggard lately. It's all good.
Really?
You look like you've been you just got done chasing.
What?
You look like you got done just chasing some goats around, man.
Yeah, dude. Full goat herder. It's real, dude. It's a real thing. The goats are hilarious, dude. They put it all into perspective, man. You let them out of their cage, you feed them some stuff. They run around, think they're free for a little bit. They follow you around. They go right back in their cage when they're done, dude. It's nice and safe in there. The predators won't get to them.
Reminds me of some people, man. I know.
Yeah, well, we are all on the feed lot, dude.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting week. How about you? How was your week? What's the highlights?
Well, they flipped on they flipped on the Hadron Collider and on the 5th. So chaos has ensued perfectly and appropriately. So
yeah. Did Cremo, the guy named Cremo, Bobby Cremo.
Oh, he's been quickly forgotten. I think he must have turned out to be Antifa, dude. They let that one go real quick. Didn't they? Like you just like I forgot about.
It was a blip, yeah.
Like when they blip like that, dude, that usually means they're lefty loonies, dude. I think
He wasn't Bin Laden material.
well, I think that dude was so obviously MK Ultra that they were like, dude, like I mean, for it actually, I've met a lot of those characters through my life. I think that there's this. I would say that not that. I would say that there's a certain element of the demographic that watches my video would be that dude, and the only reason he's not that dude is he's found a non-judgmental tribe of different people that have been willing to accept. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
we learn these things in the schoolyard, and the whole thing is, where I was one of the, like, early on in the YouTube videos, I remember there was this kid in Australia who kind of like same body style, skinny, wispy, not fit in kid, had gotten bullied and killed in Australia. And I forgot, someone had reached out to me to make some videos for this dude, or maybe he got put in the hospital. I forget really what it was. So it was like 12 years ago. And I was big into what my point is I'm getting to is the anti-bullying thing about 10 years ago was the gateway drug for the whole SJW woke thing. Like, I think that's how they slipped it under the radar, was the bullying.
I could see that. Yeah.
Because because the demographic that was getting bullied is that they're all sort of that group, man, the odd ducks, and they're angry odd ducks, dude. And they did because they they didn't fit in. They found a bunch of people that not fit in, and then they really just didn't fit in, and then they fit in because they didn't fit in. I do think there's something there, dude. I'm just sort of spitballing there, but and it just came to me just like a thunderbolt right there is the first real group of people that I think that was getting stood up for in this sort of social media space was the anti-bully campaign. Because I remember being pretty, like, making a bunch of videos about it. And those people, ultimately the kids that would have been getting bullied in high school in 2012, let's say the kids that were getting bullied in high school in 2012 would be kids that are now 26, 28 years old, out in the streets smashing stuff, dude. And it's very interesting. I think it's very interesting. I mean, because as a dude who was bullied in high school myself, right? I came from a different generation. You had to suck it up, Buttercup, dude. But it made me a warrior. But it also made me very empathetic to those who are bullied down the line. Like, I view bullying as like almost a gift if you're taught by good parents how to like turn the corner on it. Like, I'll credit my mom with fully like getting me through that whole period of time with the best piece of advice I ever heard. She's like, the people that are hassling you are going to peak early. She's like, don't peak early. And that's what it is, man. Those high school gruelers, dude. They peak early, dude. And then those damaged kids come out of high school, but then they didn't have to toughen up, dude. They soyed. Yeah.
They did soy. Yeah, it's weird. Like, I just had like a weird like exchange with someone last night over the course of a couple of days, because I posted something on whatever Instagram and they got offended. they wanted to, and this is a person who's told me, openly that they're an atheist. And what was fascinating is,
Okay, whoa, time out. Just for clarity, you can't be offended at an atheist. That is the mutually exclusive concept from where I stand. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Well, maybe that's the, that's the irony of it, is that he was trying to teach me empathy. That I'm not someone who has empathy, and he, because I'm looking at the cause of something, and he's looking at the, I'm blaming the cause, and he's agreeable to the effect, meaning that whatever he sees the result of, I should just accept that. And that when I say I'm empathetic of someone, a young child getting confused about who they are, then that's somehow I'm the bad guy, and he's whatever. I'm a wacko, religious wacko, and all this. I said, that's cool. Religious wacko is way better than being an atheist wacko. So we're all wacko.
I
guess in some form or another.
It's funny. I'll put it this way. So this is kind of an empathy story the other way, right? And it can be tied in so someone kind of got on my case, not on my case, but the other day I have, the squirrels have showed up here, right? And squirrels on one perspective can be, fuzzy nuts and little cute guys with their fluffy tails, but on one set, they're basically just rats, dude, that live in trees that are cute. And whatever, you try to find the balance, but so the squirrels suddenly showed up, and they're making their move, chowing the garden, digging things up, just causing trouble, right? So I was talking about I got to relocate them or pop them with the BB gun or whatever, dude, right?
Yeah.
Because there becomes a certain point where squirrels aren't some thing in the park. They're actually like a potential super hazard to your house, right? And so this person sent me a whole thing, and full love to the dude who sent it to me. I'm trying to blow this guy up, but he sent me a whole thing, or girl, or whatever. I don't know. And it was all about squirrels and their power animals, and their shaman. It was a whole thing about the shamanic thing of squirrels, which I'm fully down for, right? The hippie in me is absolutely down for it. And so then I followed up. The next video is the dog cornered the squirrel, and we caught it and we let it go, a couple miles down the road with my squirrel cage. And I have a whole non-lethal squirrel thing, right? But and then I got back, and the person sent me another email about, hey, I get where you're at and the whole thing, but at least you didn't it's not very spiritual to say you're going to shoot the squirrel. And I kind of replied to this. I go, this weird spirituality that doesn't include the darkness of the human experience, to me, is not spiritual, right? And so I kind of replied back, and I did my best not to be snarky, because I can be snarky. I was like, look, to me, spirituality is about making a decision and being able to accept the consequence of that decision, which may be killing another animal. We do it all. If you eat the flesh, you kill other animals. And if you're a vegan, most of your organic crops have had animals eliminated in the peripheral, one way or the other, whether it was just taking the land and turning it into an arable piece of land, involved some sort of animals being relocated, whether it's lizards or snakes or whatever the case may be, dude, gophers. And I always make the thing is I have to go before God for wantonly killing a squirrel for no reason, right? If I killed a squirrel out of sport, or that's different than killing a squirrel because, dude, if they get into your house and chew into my electrical and and get into my attic, and now you've got a wire short, it burns the house down and my child dies. Is it the squirrel's fault or my fault because I wanted to hug the squirrel, right? If the squirrel gets into my wife's car up in the engine and chews her brake lines, did the squirrel kill her or did I kill her because I didn't want to like harm the squirrel, right? And so
I hear you. Good.
You know, so so to me, spirituality, and I'm circling back to what you're like, your buddy, what the thing is being able to dig deeper into the ramifications of it. Because those who would say that killing the squirrel is a violent act, if they're not willing to kill their own meat to eat, that's hypocritical. And if they think that their vegetables that they're eating didn't kill animals, they're ignorant, right? So part of like the human experience, especially in the modern world, involves killing of fleshly living creatures, dude, whether it be a cricket or a squirrel. And it gets me back to what you were saying about the empathy. To say that somebody who's in this position in life where they've decided to alter their physical form, right, because their identity, and not empathetically go and dig into the traumatic past and realize that most of these people experience psychological, mental, and drug addiction problems is very unempathetic to me. So to gloss it over and say that you're, you know what I mean?
That's why I said that I'm focused on the cause rather than the result, because, you know, a lot of these guys, or a lot of these men and women who go through this are going through major trauma or pain from something, and these physicians and these other institutions are facilitating, education system are facilitating, and then people in general, the whole new sort of woke, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, class of people are all facilitating it by becoming agreeable to it. But you know, the interesting thing was not so much that the topic of that of those people who suffer from that, but the whole, I've seen a new trend, not new, it's been sort of like about a year now where I've seen it really start to rear its ugly head, which is these same sort of like anti-jabbers, or I'm sorry, pro-jabbers, and those who are like all, you know, about safety and about caring and about Ukraine and all that stuff. It's like these are the same people that are like becoming more and more distant from their nature, and hence distant from God. It's this weird like atheism that's there, or always been there, but now it's like there's this aggression, this added sort of like, it's like they've like, how you put it, like they have like, they feel that they have this like righteous indignation about their atheism, and now that they feel they have like a green light to sort of just to start laying like really, really bad, casting some pretty interesting curses on religious, or people who are at least trying to be sort of God-centric, you know. So
well,
go ahead. Yeah, they have some weird extra like thing about them. I can't find the words to it, but like they feel
that's why I think
entitled to criticize more.
There's an interesting thing to be like that. The words are powerful, right? You know, an atheist, right, doesn't believe in God, right? Like they're not agnostic. Agnostic believes that there's some sort of God, but it's not defined or what. It's just very fence city. An atheist is adamant there's no God, if I'm correct on this thing. Wait, let me just get the definition out here before I just go and nuke myself.
Well, I say this because I said, look, you know, I mean, he said something like, you believe in fairy tales, like this kind of like language. This is a skateboarder, this is a guy who I've skated with a lot, and he lives like around here in the Bay Area. But there's a whole crew of them where like I've just noticed that this is like a thing where like the so-called punk rocker of the 80s, the guys who were like 80s and early 90s skateboarders who were all into like punk, which was always kind of like, you're a punk, but you had, that was your punk life, and then you might have had a relationship with God on the side. But now it's like those same people are like, they're like weird atheists of some like
what I was getting at was the weird there. What I think we're battling with it on a certain level is people that aren't defined by in the truth of what they're choosing to say. So an atheist is a person who denies or disbelieves the existence of a supreme being or beings, right? So basically denies the existence of God. Well, empathy, right? And these words, these come from God. Like, as an atheist, you don't need to have empathy, man. You're almost nihilistic at that point, because if you don't believe in God, why do you need to be concerned with anybody else's feelings or concerns, right? Because to care for another person is an extension of love, right? So I find it very ironic that the atheist proclaims these kind of ideas that come from a sort of Godhead perception, which is caring for our brothers and our sisters and trying to define a better thing. The atheist shouldn't really care, but they do.
It's interesting how you mentioned that, because it's like their God is whatever movement that whatever is in question, whatever they firmly believe in, whether it's someone they believe that that you should wear a mask because you're keeping other people safe, so they firmly believe in science. You should allow people to choose, just allow people to do whatever they want. They want to chop their weenie off, they want to get some hormone blockers, then who are you? That's what he said, was like, who the hell are you to say what they can and can't do? And my thing is like, it's not about telling people what they can or cannot do. It's when you have a love for your creator and his creation, you don't want people to, the detriment when people make certain choices that, they're essentially going against their nature, and they're not going to live to their full potential. Actually, they're going to live a very destructive life that's not going to end well if they don't come out of it. And
I think we're bumping into two different kinds of situations here, right? You're bumping into one that there's a person speaking for another person who is not walking in that person's shoes, right? So that the atheist friend of yours, he's not going through the experience of the person who is in this other situation, right?
Sure.
So on a certain level, like that in itself, questionable, right? Because they don't know what the other person has been going through. And I've shared with you, right? Like I've shared with you and photographically and proved it is I do know a number of these people that have gone through these experiences, like hardcore, and they're friends of mine, right? And what I do know, and why I don't really get in there a lot, is to a person, every one of these people has had abuse problems in their early childhood and have treated that problem with drugs and alcohol. And one of the reasons that you look at like why they're trying to move the things out of a more adult perspective of it is because so when I knew a lot of these people, like they were all in treatment because in order to get signed off through the medical system to proceed further into the transition, they had to reach certain psychological benchmarks in order to sign off on it for the medical community, right? So what you see going on is why they're moving all the ages and removing all these barriers is because if you don't have people of sane thought, and that's not sanity according to like the system, it's just a personal clarity without the mind altering substances, for example. So you can't let a person drive a car who's drunk, right? It's not legal in our society. You can't let all sorts of things happen when people are inebriated because bad decisions are made. And so I think what a lot of it is about is like people need to be given a real clean, safe environment. And I'm big about this. It's a real clean, safe environment to explore themselves and not be pressured one way or another, but be able to look inside of themselves and see what it is that they're actually going up against. Because one of the things that I think a lot of these people will tell you is alteration of the physical doesn't solve the internal, right? And I think that's where people like you and I come from on the God perspective is you've been through some radical situations in life, as have I, in the midst of drugs and alcohol and chaos and life decisions. And we weren't able to regain our lives back until we were able to reach moments of clarity. So if I had asked you in the midst of you walking down Interstate 5 in one of your manic episodes, and giving you free reign to do what you needed to do, right? What you were thinking, walking down the freeway with no water, dehydrated on a manic episode. And I came up to you and Jordan, whatever you need to have happen right now, dude, we're green light. Would the dude who's right now in front of me sitting here have regretted that decision?
Absolutely.
You asked me the same thing. You asked the dude who was sitting.
I would have probably jumped in front of a car.
Exactly. You asked this guy right here 15 years ago if I had been given green light for where my mental state had been, would I have thought that was a good idea? No, it would have been.
Yeah, I mean, this is the again. I mean, I don't know if we're on this topic. We'll be on it for however long we need to be, but this is crazy because it's a mass of people. It's literally. I just purchased this book too, and I'll buy you one actually and send it to you because it's so important reading. Then it's in short, it's like this. There's people out there today that are literally under this sort of mass, formation where they're just they're just, it said like there's 20% of the people are like completely like all about this stuff, whether it's COVID or whether it's the gender bender movement or whether it's Ukraine or whatever. They're like it's like the starter pack. It's like it's like the totalitarian starter pack. This is what you believe in when you are for a totalitarian state. And then there's like the 60 and 70% that are just like going with the flow because they don't want to stand out as whatever, being against the tide. And then there's, which we hope, people like us that are willing to say the difficult things. And I think that and what I'm getting at is like in my circle in skateboarding, I'm still a skateboarder at heart, and I'm still very connected with my friends in skateboarding, but I've also lived like a whole other life outside of skateboarding like you did, you know. And so like when when I glance back into skateboarding every now and then, which is pretty often, at least what I see on social media, I feel like I have to say something. I can't just like not say something because it's so blatant. And the fact that no one says anything, or very few people, if any, say anything, is more the reason to say something. So I think I'm not shocked at the responses. I just find it to be very
I think where you're coming from, and I'm not trying to speak for you, but if it just kind of came to me in a little bit of clarity is it's not appropriate. It's got nothing to do with skate.
It's very
it's literally the skateboarding industry and community has decided that it's going to get involved with mental health issues and medical issues and say that they get to have a pulpit about these things without bringing in any of the help that any of these people may need to have or not have. Again, as I've talked to you about, like I've worked directly with a number of these people in this situation of life, and I will literally walk in the door with someone who is of sane, sound in mind, who needs to make this decision for themselves, and they are in clarity. That is fine. I have no issue with it. What I do have an issue with, and I think what you have an issue with, is green lighting stuff without the knowledge of what it is. Right. So for anybody,
and then, sorry to cut in, but also never mentioning the negative side of it, never mentioning, only talking about like, you just need to support it. You need to support it. You need to be there for them. You need to green light it. You need to affirm it. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, if you want me to affirm it, then maybe you could show me like the other side of it, possibly, show me the regret, show me the withdrawal phase, show me later on 20 years down the line when the person wakes up out of whatever, or goes through when their spiritual changes. I mean, look, when you do that to a young child or a young person, and then you bring that, or even a young man or young woman, and then you dangle that, or you bring that into a arena like skateboarding. This is why I think it's so unique. Skateboarding is in such a unique predicament, because if you notice that swimmer, the dude who did the swim thing, that was swimming, and that was like not a really popular, it was very highly televised. But this is my problem, is it adds a whole other layer of complexity for young children.
Well, I'll just try to stay more on the institutional side of it. With like the swimming, for example, you have an individual who has access to mental health services, to health services, to resources, to home, to family. Like look, so this is a person in NCAA college situation, right? So by definition, they've plugged themselves into institutional systems that have resources available. Whether they use them or not is up to the individual. They can literally go to a counselor on campus and go, hey, I need to talk to someone. I'm feeling suicidal, or I'm experiencing this thing and I need to talk to someone. And they can go, hey, there's meetings here, there's this, or we're going to send you over here, or this, or we can do things for you. What I see as a problem is the skateboarding industry has zero resources put into any peripheral structure for these people. They're going and saying, hey, this is okay within our industry, and not setting up. It would be one thing if Pal Peralta, I shouldn't say any skating, if skate company X had a mental health facility and there was access to most skaters are demographically, financially unavailable to institutional help. And I don't mean like government institutional help. I'm talking about the ability to walk in and go, hey, you know what? I got some issues going on here. I need to talk to someone. I'm not feeling right about whatever's going on in life, whether it be suicidal, drugs, alcohol, mental health. I want to change my body, whatever it may be. There is not a built-in thing. And this goes to the thing that I was talking to you about with there is no health insurance. There is no medical system set up within the extreme sports communities. And skateboarding with their helmet shit is the Achilles heel of it all, dude. Skateboarding has no room to talk about anybody's livelihood choices until they make putting a helmet on these kids' heads popular, dude. And that's where I stand. And you want to say it's okay for some kid to walk around in a different outfit and compete in different demographics. That's fine. Put a helmet on his head. You want to talk about safety and the well-being of the skateboarding community, you make skateboarding helmets the most popular piece of equipment there is, dude. But the skateboarding community is talking out of both sides of its mouth right now. And that's where, like, I appreciate where you're coming from, because these people are fucking hypocrites, man. These fucking woke ass bullshit, Jim Thiebaud, fucking Toy Machine, fuck them, fuck all of them, dude. Fuck Hawk, fuck Christian Hosoi, fuck all these bullshit fucked up skaters that are promoting this shit without saying, put a fucking helmet on your head, dude. So fuck all of them, dude. I'll say it for you because you can't, because you're tied into it. Fuck all these guys, dude. They're bullshit frauds, dude. And they're fucking selling out a generation of young skaters and not providing them with mental health services, drug services, whatever the fuck they need to get their head and their spirituality right. They're feeding them to the wolves.
Look, I speak from experience. I mean, and I was, granted, this is 25, well, this is 30 years ago or more, where I rode for Rocco. And yeah, I mean, obviously we knew what Rocco's deal was, but it all kind of starts there where, like, I mean, dude, I was bonkers. I was from a little kid, like at 15, I was completely gone. I mean, I was going through so much trauma from my mom and dad, you know, on my mom on crack, and moved out when I was 14. But there was no real, my mentors were really not in skateboarding, like in the skateboarding companies. The skateboarding companies would, like, if you were producing footage for them or getting some, you know, things done, if putting a video part together or winning a contest or whatnot, then, you know, then you're kind of taken care of. But if you got hurt or you went through some, like, psychological break, they kind of shunned you, you know. And I would say, like, some guys, like, kind of helped a little bit, like they would talk, but they didn't have these guys aren't qualified to do any of these things. But yeah, as far as the pros and the helmet thing is unacceptable. I agree with you. I don't like many of these guys as I used to. I don't have respect for a lot of these guys for many reasons. The helmet thing being one of them, whether it's Christian or Tony or any of them. And they don't probably think of me in good terms either. So there's no worries there. But these are guys who are purely about the money and about their brand. They're not about the well-being of and I'll say this much. Again, if you look up the demographics of who's spending the money on skateboard products, you know, if you're a shredder, you go to your friend's shop, you know, you want to get a free board, or whatever. You know, the majority of people that are buying boards are not 18 to 25-year-old cool guys. The people who are spending money, for the most part, they don't, you know, they're parents of 6 to 12-year-old children. So the money is coming from the very, very young demographic. And I feel that, yeah, these kids, when they take on skateboarding and they love it and they want to do it and they want to make it their lifelong pursuit, well, as soon as they get 13 or 14, they're off with the helmet because it's not cool anymore. Because Thrasher or whatever other pros out there that, so I get it. I know, I think there's a couple friends of mine I know that died because of head injuries. You know, and they were like stupid, preventable head injuries. Like a quarter pipe, like a fakie rock on a quarter pipe or something and hanging up. Or literally just doing something and unexpectedly just, you know, and, you know, it's going to happen, God forbid, if it happens to one of the very well-known pros at a contest in front of the world. That's where they're going to be like, oh, woe is me. We should have, would have, could have. And that's where these things sort of take a turn, is when, you know, there's big money and big, you know, there's a lot of eyes on an event where someone dies in front of everyone. I don't wish that on anyone, but that's kind of what it's going to take at this stage.
Well, my thing is a little bit more on the thing is like, you want to let skateboarding be a free fire zone and do what you want, then that goes all the way across the board. You don't get to be like we get to pick and choose, dude. That's more where I'm coming at it from, is like they want to sit there and do this thing. Okay, you want to take responsibility for these young human beings coming into the world that obviously have, look, no one got into, I mean, look, we come from that time, and I still think it's the relevant thing is a lot of kids get into skateboarding because it's their way out of the house, and whatever that is in that house. You look at that, the kid who won the contest recently, whatever, you listen to his story, something was up with this old man and the weirdness around the house and blah, blah, blah. And you start looking at any of these kids, they all kind of have the same story. There was something not going on around the home environment, or something was going on around the home environment. It wasn't very good. And so what I say is, look, you want to say that it's fine, let people do what they want to do. I'm all for that. What I'm saying is, like, why don't you take care of these people a little bit? Why don't you, where is the skateboarding industry opening up free mental health services for or safe homes for these children to like escape to, and not them just be skate parks run by drunken predators, dude? Again, is the skateboarding thing so wacky? And the thing is for me, that was what it was about. I do what I wanted to do. I didn't want to have any responsibilities, dude, in that thing. I wanted to go skate, I wanted to get drunk, I wanted to eat acid, I wanted to do what I wanted to do, dude. So that's fine. But this like pseudo legitimacy thing that skateboarding's trying to run, I ain't down with, because it's the surfing did it, dude. And it's why surfers suck, dude. It's like, let's not call it, if this skateboarding is going to be a free fire zone where people do what they want to do, then just everybody put down their bullshit and shut the fuck up and go skateboarding and smoke your crack and get freaky and get weird and do whatever it is you want to do, dude. Fine. But stop selling it, dude. Because that was the way we got away with it back in the day.
I don't know, man. I love I skated today. It was great. It was fun. I had a blast carving around and did some monkey tricks, and it was awesome. It's fun. But
Yeah, it's
I
the
don't
best.
yeah, I always will have skateboarding in my heart. Always. But if I look at the industry and I look at, you know, the meaning of what the meaning of it all. I mean, we talked about graphics and how, you know, if you go to like a skate shop, it's like, you know, you go there, it's like there's no depth anymore, you know, and that the depth is completely gone. Maybe there's a company out there that has some depth, but there's no, like, it's just scribble scrabble of meaningless pictures, you know. That's why when someone comes out with a gnarly skateboard part, they just broke themselves off, like a Tori Pudwell, who is amazing. Like, I mean, the guy is so gnarly. Or any one of these guys, Shane O'Neill, and I'm talking like the modern street tech guys, because that's the relevancy factors there. But if you look at the products and you look at the feel and you look at what they're saying, no one's saying anything. No one's putting any meaning out there. No one's advocating for anything like just. It's literally just dudes performing entertainment, which is really good skateboarding, and putting a lot of meaningless stuff out. Really, like in the van, like he smiles and looks over and goes and throws a beer at his friend, and then they cut to shredding, and then it's like, hi, my name is so and so. I'm from San Jose, California, and this is my life. This is what I do. And why am I saying all this? Is because I've always felt that skateboarding, it was always a little weird, but it does have that ability to be a great platform to do some positive things on that level. Obviously, I'm probably pipe dreaming, but that's what always has bothered me, is that the all this attention on something, but no one's saying anything.
Well,
At least I haven't. I mean, there's exceptions to it, but I haven't seen much going on that in that vein.
Well, I think a lot of our conversation behind the scenes, and maybe we need to get a little bit clarity on this, is yeah, we live in the Western world, dude. We're dudes in California. There is a lot of infrastructure here. Where skateboarding for me is being used as a questionable tool is the developing world, right? And I think some of our early skaterix shows were about that, is the NGOs and the skateboarding, these people that I'm yelling about. It's not so much they're in-house, let's call the United States or the Western world in-house skateboarding. It's what they're doing outside the house in the third world, why this promotion without resources so questionable. And that's where the grooming is. Like I'm not so much worried about it here in the land of the free. I see this as being used to.
I think it's everywhere, bro. I think it's everywhere. I think when you have so and so get up and talk all the weird identity stuff, and I never, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna get mean, but you do all this weird stuff at the Olympics. We're like, I'm finally coming out now at the Olympics, so that's convenient when every child is watching you. I think
yeah, but that's not meant for a Western audience. That's meant for the emerging, developing world audience.
Western audience is watching it though. So, and there's been a huge influx of new skateboarders pre and post Olympics.
Well, look, my issue with
I agree with you on the whole developing countries. That's there for sure.
Well, I think,
but they have something like, a little. Go ahead.
Well, it's sort of like the weird thing. It's like, why did nobody care what Brian Anderson was up to? Like, who cared? Because that dude ripped. There was no denying that dude on a skateboard ripped. Didn't matter who he slept with, who he loved, what he did. That dude was the top of his game at the time, dude, right? What we're watching right now is dudes that don't rip or people that don't rip getting the accolades of rippers because they're doing this identity politicking or life transformation stuff. That's one of my big beefs with it is it would be one thing if the skill level was there. I like ultimately, like, there's a certain part of me that can separate my own personal spiritual and philosophical and intellectual beliefs with the actual just brutal reality of the activity and be like, dude, you want to get accolades, you better be ripping, because then nobody's gonna care. The thing that I don't like about it, that's why it's getting shoved in our face, is it's being used as a cudgel to get ahead in an activity that's skill-based. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you're doing with your
I'm
body.
not even mad. I'm not even mad at the dude or
no, he's just an accidental, like, victim.
I'm not even mad at the person themselves. I'm mad at the people who give it a home and facilitate it. The border contest series, those guys are complete, total scumbags at the highest degree. They don't care
it's
about
like Red Bull straight up exploiting it.
They're
like,
all
it's not the dude.
Junk.
It's not the human being that's going through the experience that I have a problem with. Let that be clear. Try
absolutely.
to.
I feel for that person. I want good for that person. The problem is exploiters, the ones who are exploiting that person.
Well, Red Bull is obviously exploiting that thing. If you go to the thing, it's quite obvious that, like, again, the skill level is not there, which makes it a joke, which makes it something else that it's not. It would be one thing if there was the skills there, dude. You know what I mean?
Look, if you reverted, he would have had it.
Well, it's like that thing is like, I grew up with that in the era of the Carabeth Burnsides, right? Right? Like,
very well.
Dude, nobody was like, there's a girl skating when Carabeth Burnside showed up.
She was rad.
She ripped, and it didn't have anything. It wasn't an identity thing. It wasn't because she was a girl. She ripped. And that's it. Like, at the end of the day, that was all that mattered, dude. There was nobody being weird because there was a female that was ripping. It was that human being straight annihilated what was in front of her. So no one cared. And I come from that school of skateboarding. Like, nobody cares. Why are you making this an issue? Except that you're promoting something that is exploitive. That's why, as a person trying to get around, like, the live and let live reality of where I center myself and my own personal conservatism in my reality. Like I don't like what's going on because I see it as very much exploitive of the people in a situation that they may have gotten themselves in over the head.
I feel this a very similar way. My only added dimension to it is I still feel like I just look at children, I just feel like children, like kids, little kids, they witness this exploitation and they have to sort of drown in it, and they have to make sense. Their parents have to make sense out of it for them. And it's weird. It's like no one likes to be preached to. No one likes to be preached to. I never like to be preached to. I hate it. I always hated when people. So what I'm saying though is that this is in a way, it is, make no mistake, it has all the markings of very heavy preaching, because you're pushing or forcing these ideas on people. And yes, I do bring a religious dimension into that argument, but I'm also, I'm thinking about the children. That is where I get very offended personally.
Well, I would say that where God comes into it is honesty, right? Like, and we did a thing that, we talked about it, like, and this is sort of it in a weird way is my main issue with skateboarding in the Olympics was that most of the people that competed in the Olympics all lived in Southern California and then went and rode for their countries. There was not an organic representation of countries at the Olympics. There wasn't that. It's like that.
Well, I'll tell you why. You want me to tell you why that was?
Because it's all industry controlled.
Yeah, I mean, it's Josh Freeberg and a handful of other guys, and they're sitting at a table and they're saying, we need to make this look really good for the Olympic Committee. So we got to assemble a team of the perfect guys so we can continue to keep this going for years to come. So they're assembling a team, and, she's born in Carlsbad, but she has Finnish blood. So she's competing for Finland.
Well, no, but again, it's a duality that gets exposed. You also that from us as skateboarders who kind of know what's going on, it exposes the fraudulent nature of the Olympics as well, is because the Olympics itself does not have a grassroots ladder for people to emerge from their nations of origins to be Olympiads. And skateboarding, there should have been unknown skateboarders from all over the planet that rip from Russia, from the Ukraine, from Brazil, and all of these places.
From Israel.
And is wherever.
From
and
Israel.
What we saw was what 80% of all Olympic skateboarders lived in Southern California. So what we see again is the industry hijacking skateboarding and saying that we as this limited representation of the skateboarding industry, we get to claim the whole thing, and we get to shove our weird politics and weird social stuff in on it. When I go, that's not, they don't like professional skateboarding is never represented the skateboarding world that I exist in. Like, yeah, like it's peripheral, but like as well as I do, the gnarliest rippers out there, nobody knows their names. They're just dudes that go to the construction site by day and go to the park in the evening after work and dominate, dude. And that's what I mean is like, my big thing is I believe that the skateboarding industry should be held accountable and should have class action suits levied against it for the helmet issue, and all skateboarders who are injured by an industry that promotes a hazardous activity without proper safety equipment should be bankrupted. I've really moved to the thing as a dude who didn't grow up in safety gearville. It's still tough for me to get a helmet on. I, as a father, will never let my son ride a bike or a skateboard without a helmet on. It's insanity to do. And for an adult industry run by people of my age that are fathers and grandfathers, to not be held accountable for their money-making decisions to exploit an industry when one of the best skateboarders on the planet refuses to take his helmet off. Like, you know,
It happened to me today, man. I was literally doing nothing. I was like, I did some trick on the bank. I tried like to do some trick, and I slipped off the coping, and I slid down on my feet halfway down, and super glossy, and I slipped back, and I hit the back of my head, you know, with my helmet on, got full like whiplash. But if I didn't have a helmet on, you know, that's something totally unexpected. What I'm saying though, it's unexpected is what I'm saying. It's always, usually in many cases, you know, it's unexpected. You can't prepare.
Well, I think that for, all right, let's just say for whatever it was, these guys can all hate us or whatever, but if they hear the words we're saying, you guys better get in front of your own industry out there and start putting helmets on these kids and making the helmet normal. Because I'm telling you, and I'm advising anybody who's had a child damaged without wearing a helmet, sue the pants off the skateboarding industry and take all of their fucking houses and pools and money and cars away from them. They're filthy rich and they're exploiting your children, dude. Forget about the dresses and the tranny stuff, dude. I like almost like if we can kill the industry and these scumbag parasite NGO fuckers through that, that's the way to go. That is the way to go. They have left themselves 100% vulnerable on this helmet issue, dude. And they should be sued and destroyed. Thrasher should be taken down. All of the skate industry, Nike, anyone who's touched the skateboarding industry that's put a picture of a kid on a handrail without a helmet on his head should be, they're all liable for this. There's too many.
Tim Tebow will be there with his skateboard next to a curb, telling everyone, "Go for it, man."
Well, yeah, I have a whole theory about all that too.
Go for it, bro. And meanwhile, you won't even ollie up a curb. At least, maybe you will. I don't know, but shoot.
Yeah, and the rantings of a sweaty madman in his office, dude. on a more mellow note, dude.
They're very disgusting, man. I'm just whatever.
Well, I think it's real, and I think that where we as two guys, two dudes who struggle, who do have voices out there, is where does silence become? Where does that become condoning, right? Like as a person, look, as a person who deals and with people in mental health issues, who works in drug and alcohol, and our household is you know, that's the profession of my wife, and that's what we do, and that's why I have many jobs and credit, you know, having done this. And I will tell you that this issue of what is going on with people in these situations where they are fluid and what they're trying to do is they don't need to be shunned. I agree with that, but they don't need to be promoted either, because underneath the surface of it all, there's a lot of dirt and trauma and help. It's a cry for help. And again, as a dude who's all about letting your freak flag fly, if you have had clarity of sound mind and the whole thing, and that's what you want to do with yourself, I'm all for it, dude. I have no issue with it, dude. If you want to just, you know, then look, I mean, I know these people.
More power to you. I mean,
well, again, but
more power for me.
I don't, I again, is I don't, it doesn't threaten me as,
I know, it was a bad joke. The scissors were just here. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, but I mean, is for me, the tragedy of what's going on is we're not taking care of people. We're using them as pawns, and that's what the devil does, right? And I think that's where like, we talk about this a lot in the backside of like what we're doing and the thing. And even the fact that we're going pretty like vocal tonight about it is not easy, because there's no safe course to bring this discussion out. You know what I mean? Like, there's no safe way to have it. And that's the tragedy of it. We're talking about people's mental health. We're talking about people's lives and them not getting the access to care they may or may not need. It's not for me to it's not for me to decide if anyone's an alcoholic. Only you can make that decision, right? But what we can do is help you get enough clarity so you can make that decision of sound mind and have the loving resources. Because I'll tell you what, these people that are being exploited today because they're in this thing and it's the flavor of the day, that industry's not going to be for them in 20 years when they got to pick up the pieces, right? That's where I'm a little dubious about the industry getting involved on having any voice in any of these people that are. It's one thing to have like peripheral people babbling about it, like whatever, but this is coming from industry people who really look. We know enough about some of these people. They shouldn't be talking, because they're not willing to admit the truth. I'll sit here and talk all day about my debauchery and failings and what I am. So I get to have an opinion because I'm not hiding my darkness in the shadows. But a lot of these people in the industry that are out promoting this and giving accolades to it aren't being truthful about their thing and what makes them tick and their freaky science, dude. So I don't know, man. Like, again, it's I see a lot of people in glass houses throwing glass rocks, dude. And I smoked a lot of glass rocks, dude.
I never smoked a glass rock, but I've smoked some other kinds of stuff. I don't know, man. I mean, for me, I just like, it's the whole thing of like just children just being like, this is just becoming so normalized. And so, it's funny. I met a family today. I was skating with their kids. And I met the guy, whatever, last weekend or sometime during the week. Or no, I met him actually yesterday, and then we connected today. And I didn't realize it was just, dude came from Texas. I didn't realize he was, super adamant about homeschooling his kids, super adamant about none of them had any type of shots. And his wife was there, and in there, like, yeah, we homeschool because we're just like, we don't want our kids to be exposed to this stuff, And something that I'm troubled with personally, and I know, like, I guess it's hard to say it, because it's not popular. But I find it really hard that young people who start to skateboard, they just enjoy it and they want to compete and they want to whatever, get into it, and that's fine. To a little girl who's 13 years old, that's everything to her, and that's her life, and that's her whole thing. And to see these things be sort of dropped on them unbeknownst, without anything, just I think it's very detrimental. And I think that it's not gonna end well ultimately, either through the helmet thing or through some other means. Something's gonna happen. What I see is one of two things. It's gonna be a case of some sort of like someone's gonna do some sexual allegation is gonna happen with one of these weirdos. Tell you that, number one. Or I'm calling this either that or a helmet injury. I would say a sexual allegation thing is going to happen before anything else. It's going to be something from some weirdo.
Yeah, but it's like the whole Abla thing the other last month. It's like
now, Neil Hendricks was allowed to. No, I'll say this lastly. Neil Hendricks was allowed to do fiddle and do sex lessons with someone, and he's right back in the mix like nothing happened, so these people don't learn, so it'll happen in such a way where it'll be like unavoidable. It'll be like they'll have to, yeah.
Well, I think there's a number of things where like that makes it tricky, right? Like there is the freedom that is why we signed up to and found freedom in it, right? Which has nothing to do with the industry. The industry is its own component, right? And youth involved in skateboarding, I can't look. I can't let the parents off the hook, man. If if it's 2022 and this isn't 1986, dude. I used to get called in by the dean of students about my skateboard constantly, dude. Like it wasn't something. Like there was no you get what I'm saying. Now these parents are involved, right? And again, I don't think the parents get a free pass on this stuff. Look, we went to go see the Thor movie today, right? We took Al to go see. It's all about Thor. She went to, and at the very end, there was a little thing, dude. And do I want to have to deal with it? No. Is there a conversation? Is there parenting to be involved? Yes. Is it a chance to be a parent? Yes. Is it a chance to show up and teach your children about wrong and right? Is it an opportunity? Yes. I was thinking, I remember in junior college, I was going to Santa Monica City Junior College, man. And my first experience, we had a substitute teacher in my statistics class. And it was a person who had fully transitioned. And it was like a whole thing. And I'll tell you what, we were all in that generation. This must have been 1992-ish, 80, 89, 91, somewhere in there, that time period. It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal. There was no like voodoo around it. There was no weird thing because, again, I think there's a level of maturity that's being dismissed for the sake of reactionaryism, dude. To be a parent is to be mature and to be willing to have conversations with your kids and guide your kids, right? It's not up.
That goes for all time. What I'm saying is that on the ground, there's other things to contend with. And that's all, there's interaction, there's things that are like, just, it's an inversion, as someone who's trying to raise children. I mean, I'll just speak for myself because I treat everyone else's kids in the sense of like, I want for them what I want for, what I want for my kids, I want for other people's kids. And so my whole thing is like the inversion, the whole like, do you want to go in that, do you want to go in that building where like, do you want to go in that, you can go in that house, but in that house, all these things are going. They're going to smoke crack in there. They're going to chop their weenies off. They're going to do everything under the sun in that. You want to go in there? Okay, you can go in there. I'll prepare you to go in there. But there's unavoidable, you go in the coal mine, you're going to get some coal on you. You're going to get some stuff on you. And the problem, and I'm very serious about this, the environment has its impact. And there's no, avoiding that. And I think that I get it. Like, we want to be open and we want to be understanding. We want to leave room. We want to, we definitely have to be parents, and we definitely have to, educate our kids and help them understand and engender in them a sense of righteousness. But my point is that there's no avoiding the effects of it when it's in close quarters in some way or another. So you can only do so much. And that happens in little and big ways. That happens at the hotel after the contest. That happens now at the bar at the contest, or whatever, not the bar for little kids, but you know what I mean? That happens, well, sometimes it's for little kids. That's the thing, is that when you let these elements sort of fester and spread, it's like, you can be a mom and a dad only so much. And then you surrender your child to the elements because you trust. That trust has always been there. And now, you gotta not do that anymore.
I guess that's where I trip out on this like weird time we're at with this thing, like especially with skateboarding. Like, as you were talking, I'm thinking about myself when I really got into it, like at 16, over at the Cry Brothers ramp, dude, with my bro Brian Volpe, and we were skating, and what we were up to, dude. And like what we were really up to, dude. But the difference is, what we were up to was all of it. But it wasn't being promoted by the industry, right? And the industry is a bunch of dudes from my generation, right? That lived that time of free-for-all skateboarding. But that's not the time we live in. And that's where I'm trying to put it all together in my head. We live in this modern time of skateboarding as an industry. That's my helmet thing. Being run by dudes from my generation that grew up where there was no promotion. It was the secret free-for-all, which was why we love skateboarding, why skateboarding is what it is. Skateboarding doesn't get to be that anymore.
I like that, secret free-for-all, because that's exactly what it was in skateboarding. Outside of the after shenanigans of skateboarding, it was all
it's weird. It's the industry is promoting an aspect of that irresponsibly. That's where I'm at with it.
Exactly. Go ahead.
We would not be having this conversation if the industry was not promoting the secret free-for-all. The industry is actively promoting the secret free-for-all.
This is a difference. This is a free-for-all that is gone beyond the pale, because I'm looking at exactly like you, bro. Like, okay, look, as someone who traveled for years doing demos and contests and tours with older men and older people, whatever, like, we're all together. You're a 16-year-old kid and you hop in the car with a 40-year-old dude, and you freaking whatever, they hand you a beer, you smoke weed, you do whatever you do. What I'm saying, and fortunately for me, there was never any issue there. Because the people I was with were mostly just stoners and surfers, and they were pretty good dudes. But that time is gone. Now it's like, now when you go, like our first episode we did on Skatistan, when you have Peter Deglish, a convicted pedophile who is literally doing whatever he's doing for a skateboard company, or you have the smut artist. So what I'm saying is now this free for all, it's gone beyond the pale, and it's looked at as just art, or it's looked at as just someone's gender thing, or it's looked at as this or that. But in reality, little in big ways, in certain instances, people are damaged and you don't hear about it. Like the Neil Hendricks thing with the sex lessons and so it comes in little ways. And if you were to take all those situations and you would lump them all together, you'd have a big issue. That's all.
No, it's you know what it is, Jordan. It just kind of like dawned on me. It's the thing. It's adult content being promoted to children.
Exactly.
Like
Thank you.
this, like
it's simple as
it's
that.
funny. Like I remember, like with Thrasher, right towards the before the Felper passed. I used to get a kick out of Thrasher because it still had like a sense of humor and was like, it had all that references. But now that I'm thinking about why I got a kick out of it, because it was like adult, like it was drug humor and all this kind of humor. But I was an adult, like, so it was okay. But if I don't know. I remember. That's why I don't bring Thrasher into the house. It wasn't even because the quality of the magazine dropped. It's because I have a child and the pentagrams and stuff I'm not cool with. Because that's adult. I get the joke. I get the whatever. It doesn't bother me. But then I was like, I got a small child. Like I can't have I mean, I still wear my Thrasher t-shirts, but I don't put all the pentagram stuff's out, dude. Like, it's very weird. And now I'm like seeing it, like thinking about it, like, because it's very hard for me to see it from the perspective of a child because I grew up in the secret free-for-all. And now I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, it is like parents and skate camps and all this stuff. And yet there's no helmets and they're actively promoting like mental health issues as okay without any mental health services. That's where I just see the thing is like, I don't really care, so to speak, on like a life force level. I care that they're not actively engaging, like, hey, like if this is going on, like there may be what you want to do, but if you don't, and you got we've set up a secret like place you can come and like talk to like experts that aren't going to sway you one way or the other. It seems like they're just this like, come join us and we'll sway you, dude. And it's cool. And it's like, but what if it's not? What if it's really just a kid who's got some issues going on? And that's where like, I think that it slipped into a thing that I don't think's appropriate is because, and I've shown you my credentials in this department with who I've known, and what I've known is that's when people are doing this, it's a very serious situation.
Yeah.
Sorry. Would Thrasher, would the skateboarding industry be promoting cutting and going, well, they're a cutter? Yeah, you got to accept them. They're cutters, dude. They wouldn't on any level. They'd be like, no, we can't promote cutting. Like that's one step. That's bad. That's mental health issues. It's this weird thing. It's you have this moment where you could actually be of service to all these disenfranchised children and bring them into the fold with this other demographic of parented like skateboarding parents, dude, and like get something really good going. And they're just missing the moment. And it's deliberate from what I see, dude. It seems, or I don't, maybe it's not deliberate. Maybe they just don't have it can't be just us that see this.
I think it
Maybe
goes back to, there's a very few dissident few that are 5-10% of the greater 90 percent of people. There's a very small fraction of people that are even that really are saying something at some level, and people are scared, people are intimidated. They don't want to be canceled. And I think people need to embrace the whole canceling thing and just, yeah, if you're going to say something, you're going to probably be canceled. But
well,
look,
I guess my thing
I'm okay. I'm okay with being canceled because I find something fundamentally wrong about all of it. Personally,
I don't think you get.
And-
I don't think canceling is. I think you get canceled when you're flip about it. Like that's my
when
thing.
you're what?
When you're flip about it, when you're using it as a bully stick or a bludgeoning. But I think if you truly care, I don't think that God cancels like that. I think that comes from a lack of spirituality and a lack of connectivity with God. Because like even with this, like having this conversation, right? It's delicate. And the reason it's delicate is because it's not a simple conversation. We're talking about like people that might need real help out there, not getting real help, and their reality being in jeopardy. I mean, that's where the conversation started with ultimately got us here, was we were talking about the Slimo kid and on the 4th of July, right? Like that didn't fit in.
Yeah.
Was a freak and a weirdo. And skateboarding is the collection point for freaks and weirdos. And as a freak and a weirdo, I don't know, man. It's I don't know. Yeah, dude. I don't know, man.
Well,
all I know is like, you can't be canceled. That's only something that again, that's like victim consciousness. You can only be canceled if you want to be canceled, right? Like if
when I say that very
no, I mean in general. I don't even mean
cheek. I'm not. What I mean by that is that, look, even if you say there's certain things if you just disagree with nowadays, there's a certain demographic of people that just are so enamored and so in the cult that they want you, they themselves tune you out, right? Cancel you. But what I was going to follow up with is that when you get canceled, actually, you really find your people, and
sure.
I'm not, I know, like someone said that on this chat, they're like, yeah, Jordan's still being talked about on the Slap message board. And it's like, for me, you got to understand my position, right? I grew up as a Jewish boy who became a skateboarder, whatever, very ingrained in the industry. And then later on, I became a Muslim. And I think until this day, I'm the only like quote unquote pro skateboarder who is actually like a practicing Muslim, right? So I'm no stranger to being ridiculed and canceled and made fun of and all that. And at the same time, I've got like really good people within the industry who are considered like, their standard of whatever their caliber of who they are is, whatever, it's other levels. So they have a respect for me. They love me and they're my friends. I'm not canceled by everyone. I'm just canceled by people who, or you're canceled by people or so-and-so who's willing to say the difficult things are canceled by people who, don't want to have this kind of conversations, or they don't even want to think of any other ways, or they don't want to be reminded that there's another way even. So, I'm a religious extremist according to many people. So,
well, it's that interesting thing, as I was thinking about, like, I got canceled in high school, dude. I think I can look back on my thing, and I got canceled, powered through it, and then canceled other people, and then stopped getting involved with the cancel. Like I was cancel cultured before there was cancel culture at a ripe young age, dude, with my flock of seagulls haircut and the whole thing.
yeah, it's I don't even like to I don't like to even go along with these terms about like cancel. I don't like it either. Like, I don't think it has relevant. I think it's a wrong construct. I don't even think that it actually even exists, like you said, because you could be canceled tomorrow and you could just pop back online and get your,
well, you can only be canceled if you want to be canceled.
You walk away from the battlefield, that's when you're canceled. So
I don't know what this has to do with it, but I needed to throw this in. And I heard this, I was going down the Mike Tyson bunny hole earlier today, and there was this quote that was pretty good, dude, and sometimes Mike Tyson is pretty like tapped in. He said that the way, and it was paraphrasing, God punishes you by giving you everything you want and seeing if you can handle it, right? And it's like, I was like, damn, that is so like deep in the sense, because he was talking about how like the best time of his life was in prison because he had peace. Like he was just at peace. And the dude's like, well, you had like 30. He's like, dude, God punishes you by, and that's like a dude who's had it all, right? And the whole thing. And he's like, God punishes you by giving you everything you want and seeing if you can handle it. And that's that weird, it just makes me think about the like whole cancel culture and the whole culture we're in right now of people. And it's these kids, people think they want something. They have no idea of what it is that they want. Like I wanted to be all, dude, if you had asked me, it's funny, if you had asked me at 16 what I wanted to be, you know what I would have told you? I would have wanted to be Mad Max. I had a whole secret Mad Max outfit I used to like wear, like, and I lived up in the mountains, like a whole Mad Max thing, dude, I would wear. If you had asked me if I could, what I would have wanted to have been at 16, it would have been Mad Max. And if I could have gone in and gotten the whatever you needed, dude, I would have done it, dude. I had a jacket with the shoulder blades all like styled out. Like I had the whole thing secret, dude. I used to put it on and go romp around out in the woods, dude, by myself, dude. Mad Maxing. I've never talked to anyone about this, no doubt. But it's like, that's the thing, is like, we don't know what we want. You ask me if you, again, it goes back to on the wrap up of like, you would ask us, if you had asked me what I had wanted before I gotten sober, one of the things I would have never said is, I want a little boy named Owl. I want a ranch up in Kernville. I want 2 goats. I want my life now. I would have told you with a deadly straight face, with nothing but truth beaming out of my soul, that I want to see mushroom clouds on the morning sunrise, dude. That's what I wanted at one point in my life. And I mean it. Like I used to sit on top of that mountain and every day wake up and be like, let today be the day of mushroom clouds, man. You know what I mean? Like I was way beyond putting on a dress or some makeup or chopping my junk off, dude. I was like, how about everybody melt? How about everybody and everything melt into dust?
I want to be like you when I grow up and we need to get in a house.
Dude. So yeah, I care. That's why I get all impassioned about it. I think it's time for this insanity with the industry and no helmets to stop. I think the industry needs to put up or shut up, dude. But they're gonna do what they're gonna burn themselves out, dude. That's all I know. There's too many gnarly dudes building their own like cement in their backyards.
Yeah, I mean they'll get they'll do the little thing and they'll do the little dance. You know.
Do a little dance, drink a little water. Give it away now. Give it away now.
I'm just glad that
Dude, on the way out, dude, if you listen to that new Kendrick Lamar album,
no.
Dude, take N95 to the lab, dude.
Is that the name of it?
That's the name of one of the songs, dude. Just go right. Is
it good?
It's calling it all out, man. Calling it all out, dude. I again, for me, where I see the solution coming out, and I've said this many times before. I think the secret gnarly thing that nobody sees coming is the Black conservative movement's gonna all of a sudden just blow up out of the shadows, and they're all gonna be gun to. Do you check out like New Era Detroit with Zeke?
Yeah, well, them and I do them and Nation of Islam are a lot of these guys also are pretty. There's
another dude I like.
Riza Islam.
No, there's this dude in I follow in Albany, Georgia, and he's building his own school, and he's taking all these boys and he's building his own private school, dude. It's the new king or something, dude. It's the most like I've been following this dude for years, dude. Like at least 3 years, dude. I say years like I'm talking decades, but like I saw him I've been following him since he first did his first summer camp. What?
What's the name of it?
I don't. Let me see, dude. Let me pull up my Instagram here and stuff. It's like the new king or something. Let me see.
Did you watch that Jim Brewer YouTube? What? Did you watch the Jim Brewer comedy thing?
I haven't gotten a chance to do that yet. But the thing that I'm seeing is I think that's where it's going to come from, dude. I think we're going to see. I think that the thing that we're waiting for is going to come hugely out of these supposedly marginalized communities, dude. I think we're about to see a giant Black and Hispanic conservative movement come in hot. And where is the new the problem with Instagram is I don't know how to find something if I don't remember their handle. You know what I mean? What is it? It's like, what have I liked? Does my heart thing tell me what I've liked? I don't know how to use Instagram that well. Dude, this dude's rad, dude. See, that tells me what I liked. I don't know. I have to wait till he comes back on and through, and I'll tag you again. It's like the new king. Let me see. Search new king something. Ex king. Dude. It's a bummer, dude. This guy's rad. King. Let me see if King shows up in my. Did you see that there's that Bill Gates's like bug supermarket burned down in the Netherlands?
Oh,
Picnic
really?
supermarket. Yeah. I'm never gonna find it. I'll just tag you. Anyway, it's this young black man who has started, instead of waiting for anybody, he's just started building. He bought his own old school, is refurbishing it, and he's doing the deal, dude. Like teaching young men to be men, dude. Like that's where it's gonna come from. Like, unfortunately, the skateboarding industry doesn't care about anything, dude. So
What's the name of the oh, is this King Randall?
King Randall, that's it.
Okay. That's awesome.
I'm not promoting Kendrick Lamar. I'm just saying go check out N95. It's a gnarly song, dude.
King Randall, right?
Everybody can change their path. That's the weird thing. I don't like, every day's a new day, dude. Who knows what's really going on, dude? What was the dude's channel? I mean, dude's page.
Randall?
King Randall. That's it. King Randall. I'm pretty sure that's it. With the schools and the things.
Yeah.
Yeah, King Randall's rad.
What's this called? N95?
N95, dude, off the new Kendrick
Oh,
Lamar.
can I play something here, or are you gonna get a strike?
Yeah, I don't mess with
No, I
stuff
just
like.
do it on my phone like this. Can you get it?
Yeah, I don't. The last time we met, remember we got those ones deleted. Every time you touch any of that stuff, dude, I don't play in that field. That's why you never hear. That's why I don't do any of the weird edit stuff and music and none of it.
I'm gonna head out.
All right, man.
It was fun.
Yeah, dude.
Just whenever you're in doubt, man.
Cut your hair.
Cut your hair.
Lop off your beard right now, dude. Dare you?
Do it, man. You chicken, man. I dare you, bro. Don't be such a pussy, bro.
Come on, dude.
You're just a pussy, man. Let me go on Slack message board.
Yeah, you should.
Slap yentas.
See, this is what's so interesting. I can't believe it isn't seen yet. Kendrick is a fraud, dude. I don't spend any time, like, I just listened to one of his songs. It was recommended and it was gnarly, dude. I could care less about Kendrick Lamar. I never heard of him 3 days ago. But N95 is a gnarly cut, dude. That's it, dude. Some political gamer. Like, that's it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's you know.
Wait. Well, it's the weird thing is like that's the trouble, dude, with the whole thing is I mean, you can read the lyrics right here. Anyway.
All right, brother. catch up.
Yeah, it's all a psyop, political gamer. Like it's all a psyop, dude, on the way out the door. It's all psyop, dude. We know this. We're way past being pointed that out. Like you got to be able to like.
I think Trump is gonna come in and save the day.
Dude, 10,000 indictments, bro. They're gonna arrest him tomorrow.
They're gonna do it. Just watch. It's gonna happen. I just know it.
It's all Greek to me. I don't know anything about that. Like, yeah, all sorts.
I'm gonna tell you something you don't know. I'm gonna tell you something you don't know now.
Now you get where I'm going at it, political gamer, dude. You just take the little bit of thing, dude. The truth is always gonna be wrapped in deception, dude. Two more weeks, dude. 10,000 indictments, dude. Dude, red wave, bro. Dude, didn't you see the satellite image of the rubble of the Georgia Guidestone? Did you see it?
Yeah.
No. Did you see it?
Did I see this? No, I don't know what you're talking about. The Georgia. I know
it
they
was
were
literally all the rubble. No, dude. If you looked at the rubble of the Georgia Guidestone from space, it had a 47, and it had a D and a T spelled out in the rubble.
47 Donald Trump. Whoa. You know who Q was, right? In 007?
Yeah.
Q was that's pretty goodies.
Dude, did I tell you that I had lunch the other day with the dude who arrested Hillary Clinton?
Dude, he arrested Hillary Clinton, just flew over his house. Wow.
Yeah. No, I had lunch with him. The pilot? Seriously.
I'm so lost right now, bro.
All right, good night. I love you, bro. Peace.
You too. Love you too.